Hello and welcome to this webinar on what is Trimble Connect. Trimble Connect is an open collaboration tool that connects the right people to the right data at the right time, enabling informed decision making and enhancing project efficiency. With Trimble Connect, everyone involved in a project can see the big picture, right down to the tiniest detail. Bring people, technology and information together to deliver what you need when you need it. So on today's agenda, we're going to look at how to create a project with Trimble Connect. We're going to look at how to upload a SketchUp model to your Trimble Connect project with the Trimble Connect toolbar inside of SketchUp. How to view your SketchUp model online via Trimble Connect. And you can get there by going to connect.trimble.com. We'll look at how to visualize the model with Trimble Connect Visualiser. How to share a SketchUp model, how to invite people to collaborate with your Trimble Connect project, how to assign permissions to your project, where to download Trimble Connect desktop version and the Trimble Connect visualizer that accompanies the desktop version, how to inspect clashes. So for example, what we can do is we can compare a SketchUp model versus an IFC file, for example, and just see where the clashes might be between the SketchUp model and the HVAC system. We'll look at how to import a SketchUp model from Trimble Connect into SketchUp, as well as how to import a model as a reference and fix any of the clashes that we detect. Okay, so first we'll look at creating a project. So in SketchUp, we have a Trimble Connect toolbar. So SketchUp Pro users or SketchUp Pro Studio users, you'll have this toolbar Trimble Connect. And if you can't see it on your screen, you can find it under View Toolbars for Windows computers or under View Tool Palettes for Mac users. And it could also be under View Customize Toolbar for Mac users. So one or the other, View Tool Palettes or View Customize Toolbar. Once you have the toolbar showing, we can then click on Open Trimble Connect on the web, and it's going to launch a browser. And so right now I already have just a generic project called SketchUp. So what I want to do is create a custom project. So we'll enter in the name, we'll call it Trimble Connect Webinar. You can give it an image if you want. So if I was to go there, I could then jump into where I've got a logo. Okay, I can choose the server. It may be limited to just one server for you guys, being I guess a standard end user, who the owner is, and you'll probably have Trimble for business. So if you've got a classic SketchUp Classic license, you'll have Trimble Connect for free or for personal. If you have a SketchUp Pro subscription or Studio subscription, you'll have Trimble Connect for business. The main differences are that with a business subscription, you have unlimited projects, unlimited storage, and you can collaborate and share your projects with no limitations. If you have a personal Trimble Connect subscription, which is the classic license users, you only have the ability to create one project and 10 gigabyte of online storage. So that being said, we can now submit our project and create. Just give it a bit of time to open that up. Great, so we're now within our Trimble Connect webinar project. So we'll quickly go and create something that we can upload to the project. Then we'll talk about some of the settings. So if we go and jump back into SketchUp, I'm just going to model something that we can upload. So for example, if I create a cube that's 600 by 600, then push pull, I can push pull that up 600. Then what I could do, just for interest sake, is offset this edge 200, and then offset again 400. Push pull down 400, then 200. Then I could offset the top 20, double click, double click. Then I could get the paint bucket, and under the colors I could find maybe a red, and then find a white, and just quickly create the SketchUp logo that we can upload to Trimble Connect. So we'll just need to save this next, overwrite one that I've previously done. So at this point here we can click on the publish model to Trimble Connect, and it will launch a toolbar. So you can see we have our Trimble Connect webinar project available there with its logo. Open that. So here in the Trimble Connect publisher dialog, we can now just upload directly to Trimble Connect webinar folder or project and click publish model. And we'll just upload that to Trimble Connect. So now we want to see that model again. So I've already got a web browser open. So I jump back onto Chrome and just reload the page. Okay, so yes, if you did want to create a folder and for all the SketchUp models, you could do that. You could call it SketchUp files and create that, and you can just drag and drop your files within folders inside of the project manager. You could then create another file, and you could call this folder, another folder, and call this folder images, for example, and upload any images that you may have created. So for example, I could jump back into SketchUp, and then maybe I have an image that just shows a dimension on my model, like so, and then I export that as a JPG, for example, or even a DWG if you wanted to create some 2D plans. And then back into Trimble Connect Web. And then while I'm in the images folder, you can see I can just drag off my desktop straight into the folder and upload. And that's complete. So you can store all of the information relating to your project within Trimble Connect. So some of the settings, we could have just a quick browse at those. We can look at the unit settings, and we're in the metric system, millimeters. So you just want to make sure that you have your settings all worked out. And then back to data, explore, open up the SketchUp files. And now we're going to look at how we can view our SketchUp model on Trimble Connect. So there's a couple of ways. I can double click on the link here, and then we'll open up the SketchUp model with the Trimble Connect viewer. Okay, so we can clearly see the model showing. If you had any groups or components, you'll be able to turn those on and off as well. You can do dimensions in here as well if you wanted to point, and take those sorts of measurements from the model. And there's a whole bunch of other like visualization tools, like turning transparency on and off and just viewing the model. So if we just turn that off for a second, another way you can view your model is by opening it with SketchUp. So with a SketchUp Pro subscription, whether it be a Pro subscription or a Studio subscription, you also get the online web edition of SketchUp. So you can select your SketchUp model and then click on the SketchUp icon. You can either click Edit in SketchUp, or you can also just view the project here if you have that. Alright, and by clicking on that icon, you can see it's opened up the web version of SketchUp. So if you needed to make any changes to this model, you can do that with the web edition of it. And then you can hit save, and that will then update your model. So it's quite handy if you don't have your laptop with you and you just need to make a quick change to the model, you can actually do that online. And that's now been updated. So another way that you can visualize your models is with a tool called Trimble Connect Visualiser. So right now you're looking at the online version of Trimble Connect, but under the applications icon in the top right corner here, I can click on that. And then you can see that you can download the Trimble Connect for Windows app, as well as the Trimble Connect Visualizer app, as well as some other really nice tools for Trimble Connect. So to use the visualizer, we now then have to switch to the desktop version of Trimble Connect. Once you have the desktop version of Trimble Connect open, you can click Synchronize to show your Trimble Connect Webinars project folder. You can then open that project folder, and within the folder you'll see the Images folder and the SketchUp Files folder that we created earlier. If you expand those, you can see the files, and we are now going to double click on the SketchUp logos.skp file to open up that and view it within Trimble Connect desktop. Okay, and here it is. The SketchUp models come through, and you can see it's looking already a little bit more interesting. So the visualizer is up here. You can create a visualization with textures and lighting. So if you click on that, it launches a different window in a more enhanced model view. So we just change that here. So to make it a little bit more interesting, we'll open up a cooler looking model. So if I jump back out of here, back into another project of mine, we have this 3D model here, and I'm already inside of it. I can then click on Visualize, create a visualization. So that's loaded up now, and I'll just adjust my browser to fit in the screen. Yep. And we'll just zoom in here. So you can see all SketchUp Pro users get this visualizer tool through Trimble Connect. So it's just a bit nicer than a SketchUp style render, and it can be very cool to show your customers. So for example, if you wanted to create some still images now, you could click on the camera here, and that just created that image. If I spin this over to here, I can spin that around, and I'm just using my mouse to right click and look around, middle click to pan, wheel in and out, left click held down to orbit. So if I like that view, I can hit the camera again. Oops, sorry. And we'll do one more view just looking out in this direction over here. And all these images just get stored into the folder here. And you can see they're all being placed into here. I'll just bring that last one in. So you can see it creates some quite nice imagery. Actually, that might have been the last one that we took. and you can have a look around your model. So it's really simple, really fast to get some quite cool looking imagery. If, for example, you wanted to create a little bit of an animation, you could click on the little image down here, add this particular view, zoom it over to here, and then change your view looking in at the pods. I can then add the plus button again, and then transition over to here, plus button again. Then you can just click on play animation, and it will take you through a little bit of a visualization of your 3D model. And you can add more scenes as you go. So, at that point there, I probably could have come to the right a little bit more before trying to go around the corner. And then you can see when I play from the start again, it's going to not go through my pod. So that's quite a nice function there. Okay, so now that that's closed, we'll go back to our original Trimble Connect webinar folder. So if we wanted to share this with somebody else, we might just jump onto the online version. Okay. If we open up the SketchUp folder where we had that SketchUp file, you can click on the little select button here, and you can share the file directly with anyone you like. So you click on the share button in here. You could just choose whether or not you just want to give somebody a link. You could put an expiry date on that link, view only, and then you can just create the link and just copy that into an email, or click copy, and that's copied that. You just paste it into an email. Then they can just use that link, paste the link into a web browser, and straight away just get to see the model in the view only mode. Okay, so that's quite an efficient way of just sharing a model once you've uploaded it. If you wanted to then share your project, what you can do is, if we go back to Trimble Connect, we could then click on the Trimble Connect webinar folder again. Could have stayed in there actually. We can then go to Team. Now, it's just me right now, but we can create users and groups. So I could say, for example, I wanted to have a group or a group of people that worked on this Trimble Connect webinar. So we'll call it the Trimble Connect webinar team. And we can create that. So we've got a group of people that we can create. We can also create just in users. So I could go invite, and I could share this with my colleague, which is Mark at procadssys.co.nz. He belongs to the Trimble Connect webinar team, and he's just a user. He's not going to be an admin at this point in time. So I can then select submit. Okay, you can see that the member count increased by 1, and you can see that Mark Longden is now a member. So if I go back to my data, if I need to share a specific folder only, I could select that. Then I could click on permissions, and then I could say everyone that generic access for the project team is full access, or I could say read only or no access. I could say search for a person, so I could say Mark and it will find Mark Longden, or I could say a group, so I could go Trimble Connect webinar team, and then I could also then say have either read only, full access, or no access. Okay, and then submit. And that will then fire off an email to the person, and then they'll be notified that they now have access to the project. Similarly, you could do that on here. You do all the permissions with inside of the Trimble Connect folder or project folder. So the next thing I wanted to look at with you guys is how to inspect clashes. So if we jump back into a project that has a bit more information, and I might do this through the desktop version. So we'll go actually back and then jump into this folder here. If for example I go to this particular demo file, I can open that up, and I can open up the Trimble Connect model. Okay, so we have the model here that we were looking at before with the visualizer. Now I can actually go up here and go to model selection, and you can see I can now use the HVAC information that was sent to me as an IFC file. So I can then go, just collapse that one there, that one, IFC file there, and I can bring in the HVAC file. So, you know, the heating and ventilation guys, they designed this up, saved it as a IFC file for me, and now I can add that to my my models on the left here. So I'll just untick it just for one moment, and I'll go inside so I can show you what I'm talking about. So right now I don't have the HVAC showing. Go to model selection again, and I'll just collapse these ones here, and HVAC there. We can tick that, close, and just turn the visibility of that one on. And it just zooms out sometimes. So we'll just zoom back in, and you can see now that we have the HVAC showing in our model, which is really cool to be able to collaborate with different designers and engineers all for the one project. So now that we see the HVAC system on there with the 3D model, we can now inspect for clashes. So if we click on clashes here, we're going to create a clash set. We can give it a name, so we could call it HVAC. We could set a tolerance, so maybe our tolerance is only 1 millimeter. We want to ignore clashes within the same file type. So I want to ignore any clashing that's in the SketchUp model. I want to ignore any clashes that are within that IFC file. But what I do want it to do is compare clashes from the HVAC system to the SketchUp model. So that's why we've ticked that. Now press OK. And then we can jump back into the model selection mode. Now you click on the SketchUp model, then click on clashes, and it will start to calculate and figure out where those clashes are. So now that the clashes have been inspected, we see that under the clashes dialog, we've got the HVAC clash detection that we set in place. If we expand that out, you can see we have 6 clashes. So in the Trimble Connect preview, we can see those exclamation marks of where those clashes are. So it just indicates like where those areas of intersection are, and you can see that within the Trimble Connect there. So we've got a clash right here as well. So it's really quite helpful for determining if there's any issues with your model and just figuring those out with Trimble Connect. So the next step was we're going to go into SketchUp, and we're going to look at how to resolve those clashes. So with the Trimble Connect toolbar, we can click on Open a Model from Trimble Connect, and you'll easily be able to see our demo project as well as another SketchUp demo project folder. And then if I go to the folder where that model was. You can see we've got SketchUp. And if we scroll down, we can now grab the SketchUp Pro demo and open that. Okay, so the model's been imported into SketchUp. It comes in from Trimble Connect just like you would open a normal SketchUp file. Everything is there, all the objects are there. You can see we can turn it on and off, visibility, all that sort of functionality that we have with SketchUp being a native SketchUp file. Now what's really interesting is that we can import CAD models from other CAD systems into SketchUp and use them as reference information. So if we click on this icon here, we can link to Trimble Connect again, and our heating designer has uploaded some information to Trimble Connect for us. And if we go to IFC, you can see he's uploaded an IFC file, and this could be anything. This could be structural steel, this could be pipe work. So an IFC file contains that information from your engineer or architect. So now we can import that reference into SketchUp. Okay, just pop this out outside the building, so we just need to zoom out and zoom back in. But you can see the HVAC is now within the building, and when I click on that, it's actually locked and it says it's been tagged with a reference tag, which means we can turn the visibility on and off. If I try to double click on that or right click and edit it, there's no edit button. So it's just quite good. It just purely comes in from the engineer, and we can then detect the clashes and fix those up. So over here we could go in and grab one of these windows, and I'll just make sure it's not a component. It is, so I'm going to make that one unique. Edit the component, select that edge, copy it back this way, and I can hide the rest of the model, and then I can just push pull that face down and just come out a bit. So we can then design around the heating and ventilation. Edit this window and window pane, but that could be a component as well, so I make that unique. Double click on that, select the edge, move tool, and copy that down, and then push pull around that. And you can match the same distance if you really wanted to. But you can see how easy it is to visualize as well as detect clashes and share files with Trimble Connect. So thank you for joining us in this webinar. If you have any questions, feel free to send them through to my email address, or you can send them through to info@procadsys.co.nz. Thanks for your time.